flipping through the newspapers, switching through multiple news channels, exploring different websites and online mediums for relevant news? Keeping up to date with important news is not only time-consuming but also requires meticulous upkeep of notes for thorough revision. With a limited period in hand and abundant resources to study from, do not let current affairs come in the way of your prelims success. Join the PT 365 program by Vision IAS and advance in your preparation for current affairs. Starting on 9th January at 5 p.m., this 20-day course offers comprehensive coverage of 1 year of current affairs in 60 hours. Join for improved knowledge with complete coverage of The Hindu, Indian Express, PIB, Economic Times, Yojana, Economic Survey, etc. Doubt-clearing sessions and mentoring for thorough knowledge. Access to Sandhan personalized test with 25,000 plus questions. Access to live and online classes for flexibility in timing. It's time to devote your energy to smart learning and not running. Enroll today and excel in UPSC prelims with a strong command of current affairs.
Hello and welcome to this edition of News Today. Without delay, let's have a look at the headlines first. Becoming a high-income economy in a generation, report released by World Bank. 10,000 farmer producer organizations formed under government's flagship scheme. Second meeting of India-EU Trade and Technology Council took place in India. Aditya L1 payload captures first ever image of a solar flare kernel. National Waterways, Construction of Jetties or Terminals Regulations 2025 introduced. India's social sector funding trends highlighted in the India Philanthropy Report 2025. India is on an ambitious journey toward becoming a high-income economy by 2047, as highlighted in the World Bank's report, Becoming a High-Income Economy in a Generation. The report recognizes that India must sustain an average growth rate of 7.8% over the next 22 years to achieve this goal. India became a low-middle income country or LMIC in 2007-8 and is currently on track to reach upper middle income country or UMIC status by 2032. However, several challenges remain on this path. A slow structural transformation is evident, with agriculture still employing 45% of the workforce in 2023-24, while traditional market services and construction, which are low productivity sectors, together constitute nearly 30%. In contrast, the share of manufacturing in total employment is around 11%, and modern market services account for only 7%. Private investment, which surged post-1990s reforms, has seen a decline as a share of GDP, particularly since the global financial crisis in 2008. Additionally, India has not fully leveraged its demographic dividend. Between 2000 and 2019, the working age population increased by 37.4%. But employment rose by only 15.7%, with labor force participation falling from 58% to 49%, remaining low compared to middle-income countries. To overcome these hurdles, strategic interventions are necessary. India must boost investment from 33.5% to 40% of GDP by 2035 through improved financial regulations, easier MSME credit, and simplified FDI policies. Job creation is crucial, particularly in labor-intensive sectors such as agro-processing, manufacturing, transport, and the care economy. Balanced regional growth is also key, with less developed states focusing on fundamental improvements in health, education, and infrastructure, while developed states drive next-generation reforms. India's economic trajectory over the last 2 decades provides a strong foundation. The economy has expanded fourfold, with GDP per capita rising threefold. The country's share in the global economy has doubled, and it now ranks as the 5th largest economy in the world. A significant decline in extreme poverty, alongside better infrastructure, has marked this progress. Before the pandemic, India's annual growth rate stood at 6.7%. In 2000, India's share in the global economy was 1.6%, which has risen to 3.4% in 2023. However, to achieve high income status by 2047, India's gross national income or GNI per capita must grow 8-fold. With targeted strategies and sustained economic growth, India's vision of becoming a high-income economy is within reach. The next 2 decades will be crucial in shaping this transformation journey. Moving ahead, we bring you a significant development in the agricultural sector. The formation of 10,000 farmer producer organizations or FPOs under the government's flagship scheme. This initiative, launched on February 29, 2020, aims to empower farmers across the country. Let's take a closer look at the scheme and what it offers. Starting with the basics. This initiative, officially known as the Scheme for Formation and Promotion of 10,000 FPOs, comes under the Ministry of Agriculture and Farmers' Welfare. A key focus of the scheme is on aspirational districts, ensuring that at least one FPO is set up in each block under the One District, One Product or ODOP cluster model. Now, how does the scheme support these FPOs? Well, each newly formed FPO receives hand-holding support for a period of 5 years. Financial assistance of up to Rs 18 lakh is provided towards management cost for the first 3 years. Additionally, the scheme ensures institutional credit accessibility with a credit guarantee facility of up to Rs 2 crore per FPO from eligible lending institutions. Moving on to the advantages of this scheme, it offers multiple benefits to farmers. On the market front, it helps minimize post-harvest losses by enabling joint storage and value addition facilities. Financially, it helps farmers achieve better price realization and reduces distress sales. Technologically, it enhances access to modern farming techniques and extension services. And when it comes to ease of communication, FPOs help farmers stay updated with market trends, price fluctuations, and export advisory services. The scheme also comes with some key initiatives to strengthen FPOs. A credit guarantee fund has been set up to provide coverage to financial institutions that extend loans to these farmer groups. Additionally, 5,000 FPOs have already been onboarded onto the Open Network for Digital Commerce or ONDC, giving them a wider reach in the digital market. Another major step is the conversion of 10,000 FPOs into Common Service Centers or CSCs, allowing them to offer citizen-centric services through the Digital Seva portal. But what exactly are FPOs? In simple terms, an FPO is a type of producer organization where members are primarily farmers. A producer organization or PO is a legal entity formed by primary producers, be it farmers, milk producers, or craftsmen. The main purpose of FPOs is to leverage collective power for better economies of scale in both production and marketing in the agricultural and allied sectors. As for their legal framework, FPOs are registered under Part 9A of the Companies Act or under the Cooperative Societies Act of their respective states. With such extensive support, the government aims to transform the agricultural landscape, strengthening farmers and ensuring a more stable and profitable farming ecosystem. Moving ahead, we bring you key updates from the second meeting of the India-EU Trade and Technology Council or TTC. Held right here in India. Established in 2022, the TTC serves as a crucial bilateral platform addressing challenges at the intersection of trade, trusted technology, and security. Now let's break it down step by step. The EU is India's largest trading partner, while India ranks 9th for the EU. In 2023, bilateral trade reached 113.3 billion euros, with India enjoying a 16.5 billion euros trade surplus. When it comes to trade composition, India's key exports to the EU include machinery, transport, and chemicals, while the EU's key exports to India consist of machinery, aircraft, and electrical equipment. The TTC operates through 3 dedicated working groups, each focusing on strategic technologies, digital governance and digital connectivity, clean and green technologies, and trade, investment, and resilient value chains. Now, let's take a closer look at the key highlights of the meeting. Both sides reaffirmed their commitment to human-centric AI, semiconductors, high-performance computing, and even 6G technology. They also agreed to work on interoperable digital public infrastructure or DPIs and strengthen cooperation between the European AI Office and India's AI mission. Moving on to sustainability, a major announcement was made. The launch of coordinated research under the Horizon Europe program, backed by a 60 million euros joint investment. For context, Horizon Europe is the EU's flagship funding program for research and innovation. On the economic front, India and the EU agreed to conclude their Free Trade Agreement or FTA by 2025. They also exchanged best practices on foreign direct investment or FDI screening and discussed key issues like trade, decarbonization, and the EU's Carbon Border Adjustment Mechanism or CBAM. Additionally, both sides reaffirmed their commitment to the India-Middle East-Europe Economic Corridor or IMEEC, a project that holds immense strategic and economic significance. India and the EU, as two major democracies with open markets, share common values and interest in security, prosperity, and sustainable development. Their partnership is proving to be vital in today's multipolar world. In a groundbreaking achievement, India's Aditya L1 mission has captured the first ever image of a solar flare kernel. This remarkable observation was made by the Solar Ultraviolet Imaging Telescope or SOOT payload on board Aditya L1, which recently detected an X6.3 class solar flare, one of the most intense categories of solar eruptions. This marks a significant milestone in India's space research, enhancing our understanding of the sun's dynamic behavior. Now, let's understand how Aditya L1 studies solar flares. During a solar flare, the specific region of the sun producing the flare becomes significantly brighter in ultraviolet and X-ray wavelengths. Aditya L1, with its advanced instruments like SOOT, Solexis, and HEL-1OS, is designed to study these intense brightenings in great detail. SOOT is responsible for imaging the solar photosphere and chromosphere in near UV while also measuring solar irradiance variations. Meanwhile, Solexis and HEL-1OS specialize in monitoring solar X-ray emissions, allowing scientists to analyze solar activity with greater precision. Launched in September 2023, Aditya L1 is India's first space mission dedicated to studying the sun. It has been strategically placed in a halo orbit around Lagrange point 1 or L1 of the Sun-Earth system, ensuring uninterrupted observation of the sun. Lagrange points are special positions in space where the gravitational forces of two large celestial bodies balance the centripetal force required for a smaller object to maintain a stable position. The mission aims to study various aspects of the solar upper atmosphere, including chromospheric and coronal heating, coronal mass ejections, and overall solar dynamics. To accomplish this, Aditya L1 is equipped with 7 advanced payloads, categorized into remote sensing instruments such as VELC, SOOT, Solexis, and HEL-1OS, and in situ observation instruments including ASPEX, PAPA, and high-resolution digital magnetometers. Now, what exactly are solar flares? These are sudden, intense bursts of energy released from the sun in the form of radiation and high-energy charged particles. They are classified into 5 categories: A, B, C, M, and X, each representing a 10-fold increase in energy output. The stronger the flare, the greater its impact on Earth. These solar eruptions can lead to radio blackouts, disruptions in satellite communication and power grids, and even pose serious risks to astronauts in space. With Aditya L1's latest observations, India continues to make significant strides in solar research, bringing us closer to understanding the sun's behavior and its impact on our planet. Now let's talk about a major development in India's inland water transport sector. The Inland Waterways Authority of India, or IWAI, has introduced the National Waterways Construction of Jetties or Terminals Regulations 2025. This regulation aims to attract private investment in inland waterways, ensuring their enhanced development and utilization. Let's begin by understanding the role of IWAI. As the nodal agency under the Ministry of Ports, Shipping and Waterways, IWAI is responsible for developing national waterways across the country. Now, with this new regulation, private players can actively participate in infrastructure development. So, what are the key provisions? First, the scope of the regulation. It covers both existing and new terminals, whether permanent or temporary, with a validity period of 5 years, extendable thereafter. Second, a no objection certificate or NOC. Any entity, including private firms, looking to develop or operate an inland waterway terminal on a national waterway must obtain an NOC from IWAI. Third, the responsibilities of terminal developers and operators. They will oversee the technical design and construction of terminals, aligning them with their business plans while ensuring adequate access. To streamline the process further, IWAI will develop a digital portal for terminal applications. This initiative is set to enhance efficiency, transparency, and accessibility, significantly improving the ease of doing business. Moving forward, let's take a quick look at other key initiatives aimed at promoting inland waterways. The National Waterways Act 2016 was a landmark step that declared 111 waterways as national waterways to boost inland water transport. The Jal Vahak scheme offers up to 35% reimbursement on operating costs for cargo transport through NW1 Ganga, NW2 Brahmaputra, and NW16 Barak via the Indo-Bangladesh Protocol route. Additionally, the Inland Waterways Development Council or IWDC serves as the apex policy forum organized by IWAI to drive inland waterways development forward. Now, let's understand the significance of inland waterways. Unlike roads and railways, waterways do not require land acquisition, avoiding delays and cost overruns. Waterways are cheaper than other transport modes, reducing logistics cost. A RITES study found that 1 litre of fuel moves 24 tons per kilometre by road, 95 tons per kilometre by rail, and 215 tons per kilometre by inland water transport. Now let's talk numbers. The rapid growth in cargo traffic has been remarkable. Over the last decade, traffic has grown at an impressive 22.1% compound annual growth rate. Cargo movement surged from 18.07 MMT in 2013-14 to 133 MMT in 2023-24. The target is ambitious but achievable, raising freight share from 2 to 5%. By 2030, the goal is to move over 200 million metric tons under the Maritime India vision. Looking ahead to 2047, the Maritime Amritkal vision aims to push this even further, surpassing 500 million metric tons. With these developments, India's inland water transport sector is set to play a crucial role in the country's logistics and trade framework. Moving ahead, let's take a closer look at the latest insights from the Indian Philanthropy Report 2025, which highlights the trends shaping social sector funding in India. According to the report, India's social sector spending stands at 6 to 7% of GDP annually, with contributions coming from both public and private sources. In FY24, the total funding reached approximately 25 lakh crore rupees, growing at a compound annual growth rate of 13% over the last 5 years. Projections indicate that this figure could rise to 45 lakh crore rupees by FY29. The key drivers behind this growth include India's rising economy, increased contributions from the Indian diaspora, and structural reforms that have facilitated philanthropic initiatives. However, despite this upward trajectory, certain concerns remain. One of the major challenges is the low level of private sector contribution, which currently accounts for only 5% of total social sector spending. Within private contributions, the majority of funding comes from family philanthropy, high net worth individuals, and corporate social responsibility or CSR initiatives. Notable examples include the Heritage Project launched in 2018 by Radha Goenka and the recently introduced Pride Fund by Godrej Industries in 2025. Another critical concern is the existing funding gap. India's social sector funding for 2023-24 fell short of Niti Aayog's recommendations by about 14 lakh crore rupees. According to Niti Aayog, social sector spending should ideally be 13% of GDP, a target that is yet to be met. The report underscores the significance of philanthropy as a crucial tool for national development. Philanthropic funding plays a key role in bridging gaps in public expenditure, ensuring additional resources for critical sectors. It also addresses pressing developmental challenges such as poverty alleviation, education, and healthcare access. A prime example is the Azim Premji Foundation, which has significantly contributed to improving public education in rural India. Additionally, philanthropy serves as a catalyst for innovation, driving forward initiatives like digital literacy programs and healthcare startups. The Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation, for instance, has played a pivotal role in advancing sanitation solutions in alignment with the Swachh Bharat mission. To promote social sector funding from private entities, various initiatives have been introduced in India. The Corporate Social Responsibility or CSR provision under the Companies Act of 2013 mandates businesses to allocate 2% of their average net profits towards CSR activities. The India Philanthropy Alliance or IPA, a coalition of leading non-profit organizations, continue to work toward advancing the country's development agenda. Another major development is the introduction of the Social Stock Exchange or SSE, a dedicated platform where social enterprises can raise capital from public investors. While India's social sector funding has seen notable growth, the focus remains on closing the existing gap and ensuring long-term sustainability in philanthropic efforts. With increased private participation and continued policy support, India's social sector is poised for a transformative shift. The personality in the news today is C.V. Raman. National Science Day is celebrated to commemorate the discovery of the Raman effect by C.V. Raman. This phenomenon occurs when light interacts with the molecules of a material, exchanging energy in the process. As a result, some of the scattered light changes in wavelength and color. This effect explains natural observations such as the blue color of oceans, which is caused by sunlight scattering off water molecules, and the blue sky, which results from sunlight scattering off air molecules. Now let's talk about C.V. Raman. He was born in Tiruchirappalli, Tamil Nadu. Throughout his career, he made significant contributions to the field of physics and was instrumental in founding the Indian Journal of Physics and the Indian Academy of Sciences. His groundbreaking work earned him several prestigious honors. In 1929, he was knighted, and in 1930, he became the first Indian to win the Nobel Prize in Physics for his discovery of the Raman effect. Later, in 1954, he was awarded the Bharat Ratna, India's highest civilian award, in recognition of his immense contributions to science. Raman was known for his scientific rigor, fortitude, and pursuit of excellence, among others. As we conclude today's main news, let's have a look at some quick updates. The Geological Survey of India or GSI, one of the oldest scientific organizations in the country, is set to celebrate its 175th year of geoscientific legacy. It was established in 1851 by Sir Thomas Oldham. GSI functions under the Ministry of Mines and has its headquarters in Kolkata. India and Japan have renewed the $75 billion bilateral currency swap agreement or BSA. BSA is an agreement between two central banks to exchange a cash flow in one currency for a cash flow in another currency, based on predetermined terms and conditions. A privilege motion has been moved against the External Affairs Minister for allegedly providing misleading and incomplete information. This motion is raised when a member believes that parliamentary privileges have been breached. PRO workers have been rescued after being trapped under snow following an avalanche near Mana village in Uttarakhand's Chamoli district. An avalanche is defined as the downward motion of a large mass of snow or ice on a slope, moving at high speed with great force, causing widespread destruction on its way downhill. The Supreme Court recently ordered states to address transparency issues in the tendering and procurement of ART drugs for HIV and AIDS patients. Antiretroviral therapy or ART is a combination of medicines that helps control HIV by reducing the virus in the body. Recently, the Lok Sabha Speaker highlighted the Banjara community's role in protecting the country's natural heritage and traditions. The Banjara community, also known as Vepari, Mukei, and Laban, is a historically multi-religious and multilingual nomadic trading caste who may have originated from the Mewar region of Rajasthan. Auroville, the world's largest and oldest intentional community, recently celebrated its 57th anniversary. Located in Tamil Nadu near Pondicherry, Auroville Township is a place where people from over 60 countries come together to explore alternative and peaceful ways of living. PubMed data shows a 376.5% rise in Giloy research over the past decade, reflecting its growing global interest in medicine. Giloy is a climbing shrub that belongs to the Menispermachia family. Native to tropical India, it thrives in temperatures ranging from 25 to 45 degrees Celsius and can grow at elevations of up to 500 meters. Before we sign off, let's challenge your understanding in today's installment of Test Your Learning. Thank you for joining us. We hope you found this episode of News Today engaging. For the solutions to the quiz and to access the PDF version of News Today, remember to visit the provided links in the description below.